What is up, you amazing people? It's I, Nima, and today I want to talk about some free games on the Nintendo eShop. And trust me, I'm not going to spend as much time on the game you think I'm going to talk about as much as I talk about another game that you probably never heard of, or at least heard very little about. Before we get into that though, I do have to say, please do not hit that like and subscribe button, or don't share these videos. If you do, you will get syphilis. It's been proven. I can't help it, guys. It's everywhere. Anyway, let's get the bad out of the way. You know, it's kind of good to just like peel the band-aid off or do the task that you really don't want to do. Get the ugly taste out of your mouth before you move forward kind of thing. And that we have to start off with is Overwatch 2. And that game sucks. No, I think the actual gameplay is fine. It's alright. But for one, on the Switch, it doesn't look very good. That's first off. And who expected it to look really good? You know, it was going to be comparable. If you enjoyed Overwatch, you know, on the Switch, the original one, then fine. You're going to have the same experience as far as graphics and that with this one. But it's even worse because we know that one of the biggest problems with the Switch has got to be online play, right? That's the thing we're the least confident in. Well, that and graphics. And sometimes sound. Why do we like the Nintendo Switch? I don't know, but I love it. Anyway, it obviously that's a problem though. Disconnects happen all the time. Not to mention that lag happens all the time. And if you can get through all of those problems, you have the issue of the game just not being very good. And when I say that, I don't mean the actual gameplay. Like I said before, it plays alright. It's I don't know, Fortnite-ish, if you will. Yeah, there's a few little glitches and delays here or there. You might have some sort of, I don't know, loading problems or whatever, but it's nothing that we're not used to by now. I know you would think a huge billion-dollar company could, I don't know, do something right, but apparently not. It's more, though, when I talk about, the backstories and the description of the characters and the battle pass aspect. All those things added up together are just, ugh. You can tell they didn't put much time into this game. There's characters in there that, maybe have 2 sentences to describe who they are, what they've done. There's part of the culture of this game that knows the backstory better than what the developers and the creators of Part 2 did. Or at least the editors, because there's literally a line in there that says, one of the characters, we don't know why he's here. But you actually do know why, because they established it in the first Overwatch. It's just that kind of, I don't know. It screams cash grab. I guess that's what I should say. And at the same time, they have limited its accessibility, not only by limiting the teams down to 5 from 6, which if you have been playing Overwatch, you probably have a team of 6 people that you play with, or I should say 5, including yourself being 6. And now you have to kick somebody out. You're like, no, I'm sorry, you can't play with us anymore. Or you gotta do some sort of weird rotation thing. Now, the other big thing that's really limiting people is the cell phone thing. You have to have an established cell phone plan through a major company. You can't have a Cricket or one Walmart prepaid plans or anything like that. They won't accept it, and it won't tie to your account on Battle.net, so you can't actually play the game. So not only is this sort of a weird dystopian, only wealthier or middle class people can play this game, but it's also garbage at that. So yeah, don't waste your time. I've spent too much of your time talking about how garbage and trash Overwatch 2 is, just saying it sucks. Now, to move on though to a game I do want to talk about, this game I also know is, well, I'm sure it has some predatory aspects about it, because it does have a battle pass. It does have summons that can help you strengthen your team. But this game is called Guardian Tales, and I'm very torn on it. I kind of feel like it might be sort of a rendition of Genshin Impact, but for the Switch. And I say this because it's free, and yes, there is summons, but it doesn't seem that you need them. It does have a stamina system, though, in which you would have to buy stamina, but they give you so much at the beginning, and you earn so much as you're playing through it. But I think you could probably go in a good 20-30 hours of playing before you would actually have to purchase any, and that's a long time for a free game. Not to mention, you're still going to be earning more as you're playing, so I don't know if you ever actually are going to need the stamina. It's hard to say, but they have different things like that. There's so many gems and, summon crap and all that they do, but you earn so much of it. So much of the cash, so much of the going, just by signing in to the game and doing, the tasks or playing the game like you would, you earn a bunch of junk. So it's a weird duality for me when I think about, talking about this game, because I've played for like 7 hours now, which is insane, because I know what it is. I know that this is sort of one of those like, hey, don't you want an awesome summon? But the thing is, where this kind of, for me anyway, works a little bit better, is the fact that, so Final Fantasy used to have a game, or I think they still do, it's called Brave Exodus, and I used to play that game all the time, and when a good character would come up, yeah, I would throw down some cash, and I probably spent probably $200 on that game. But the thing that's nice about this game is, I don't care about any of these characters, so when you bring up like some super, super rare character, I'm like, who cares? I could give a care less. But actually, by doing some of their free summons, I actually already got like a super, super rare character. Again, not like I really care, and I haven't needed that power. And again, I've only beat like, I don't know, 6-7 hours into it, and I haven't needed anything more powerful than my own character, anything like that. But I think it might be worth your time. Now, don't take this as like a full endorsement from me, because I'm not giving it a full endorsement. I'm not saying like, oh, this game is going to be awesome, but it's pretty fun, and it's free, and you could kind of just quit whenever you want. I do think this is one of those games, though, that is basically never going to end, or not going to end for a very long time. The story that they do tell, though, is actually pretty engaging and kind of interesting. It's about the planet being invaded, and you're basically the only one who can defeat this power, because you can attain this like legendary sword. You gotta like, of course, power up the sword, but on the way you're powering up like everything. You're finding equipment, you're meshing equipment to build better equipment or to strengthen your equipment, this and that. And you can summon equipment, you can summon characters, everything can be built up. I think like the amount of time that you could put into this game would be insane. I really do. And it does remind me so much of a mobile game. It even has like the same HUD, the same interface of any mobile gacha game. I just haven't found the gacha yet. I can see it's there. I can see where you could dump a lot of money into it, but I kind of think it's almost like one of those games like Raid, or there used to be one with like Greek mythology and stuff where, yeah, you could spend money on it and they might get you, but probably not that much money. And if you really didn't just like go all in on it, it could probably be a game you could play for quite a long time before, you'd actually need to spend money. Like basically you'd get tired of it before you have to spend money. But it's an interesting game, and I'm very torn on it, and I'm very torn on like advising anyone to pick it up. But yeah, the game's called Guardian Tale. It's worth looking into, I'll put it that way. Oh, and the gameplay is like an action RPG, so you're using your buttons to swing and hit people. I basically compare it to like, when you first got a girlfriend and you bought that box of condoms because you thought, well, I'm going to be using these, but turns out that you're a loser and you don't know how to talk to women. So a decade later, you still have that same box of condoms and you finally are about to use them, and you know that while they're working, you're going to have a lot of fun. But at some point, you might have to pay a price. I kind of compare it to that. What, you guys don't know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah, no, me neither. I was always a stud, Yeah. So it turns out one last thing, while I was editing this video, the new Mario movie direct came up, and so I'm going to talk about that a little bit, throw in my impression of it. And I just want to say something first off. Number one, it doesn't look bad. Like, I think I could find myself watching it, right? So I'll just start off with that, and to say that I do like Mario. But Mario does look a little weird. And it's very short. You don't really get a lot, but you do get to see Bowser, and you do get to hear and see Mario, as well as a little bit of Luigi, Toad, and of course Bowser as well. And with most of these animated films, I wish they wouldn't either hire famous people, or I wish they wouldn't tell you who they are before you see them, because after I see somebody, I can hear their voice, and I know that's them. And let's be honest with Mario here real quick. Chris Pratt didn't really change his voice very much. Very, very little. You can tell like there's a slight little effect on it, maybe a bit of studio effects, like some chorus or some reverb or something a little bit, but it's still Chris freaking Pratt. Like, you can hear him, and everyone has been dying to know if he's gonna do like the Mario accent or if he didn't. And I think that is an interesting situation, because if he did, he probably would have sounded corny and ridiculous. So I get them not doing it, but at the same time, it still just sounds like Chris Pratt. Like, in a way, I wish they would have had, people who were not famous do the voices, because then you wouldn't hear those people, and they would just be their own character. Bowser, for instance, at times, Jack Black actually sounds pretty good as Bowser, but then there's a couple of lines just in the trailer alone where you're like, oh, that's Jack Black. And I just don't like that, honestly, because I don't want Bowser to be Jack Black. I don't want Chris Pratt to be Mario. I want them to be who they were. Those are the characters. I understand they're made up, whatever. They don't have real voices. I get it, but I don't know. It's just, it sullies it for me a little bit. It kind of cheapens the game and the characters a little bit when you attach famous people to them. And when they could have just used no-namer voice actors who are really good at it and you wouldn't know them. And the whole focus on the movie would have been the movie, not the actors, not their portrayal of the characters, not their voicing, just the actual movie. And I think that would have really served not only Nintendo, but Illumination a lot better. Because I don't think a lot of people are going to go, oh man, I gotta see that new Chris Pratt, Jack Black movie. Because, no, they're going to say, I want to go see that new Mario movie. It's all about Super Mario, not about the famous Hollywood stars, I don't know. It's just my thoughts on it. But yeah, like always, I'm curious what your thoughts are down below. Please leave all your comments. And I enjoy talking to you, so I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'm curious on all of that, what your thoughts are. Overwatch 2, Guardian's Tale, Super Mario movie. Just, yeah, down below, let me know what you think. Like always, guys, I'm wishing you health, wealth, and above all, I hope you're truly happy, because you guys make me happy. I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, we'll be bringing out the first horror game of the month. And we're going to start with a really good one. So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.